Hi, I'm Michelle Ferguson of Two Brothers Blankets. Today I want to talk to you about blocking your crocheted project after you've finished it. Blocking is wetting your crocheted project and pinning it down to air dry in order to improve the tension and the softness of your project. A few benefits of blocking. It evens out the tension of your project and of your stitches, giving it a nice, clean, even look. It can improve the softness of your project. Most often, blocking makes your project much, much softer. It stretches the stitches slightly, giving it a more pronounced stitch definition. This is especially nice in like a lacy stitch combo. It'll give it a nice, airy, open look. And lastly, it fixes uneven or curling edges. If you ever worked a project where it began to curl, that can be so frustrating. Blocking will loosen it up a tad and soften it up and make it so the edges don't curl anymore. There are 3 ways to block your project. You can wet block it, which includes putting it into a bucket or a sink full of water and letting it soak and then letting it air dry after you've pinned it down. Spray blocking, which is taking it, pinning it down and spraying it with water and then letting it air dry. Or steam blocking, using a steamer or the steam from an iron to block your project. Some items you will need when blocking your project. If you're going to wet block, you'll need either a big sink or a big bucket or a big tub that you can fill up with water and soak your crochet project in it. You'll also need towels for wet blocking because you'll want to roll up your project in the towels to get out some of that excess moisture. Another thing you will need is some sort of blocking mat. These are workout blocks, padding for like a gym that I bought on Amazon. You can also buy like children's play mats, or they have specific crochet blocking mats that you can also purchase. You're going to need some pins. I just have regular pins. T-pins are really great for blocking as well. They hold it down really well. I just don't have any to show you, but these are just regular pins and they will also work. If you're going to steam block your project, you can use a steamer or the steam from your iron. That will work as well. If you're going to use the spray method, you'll need a spray bottle to put your water in. I am now going to demonstrate how to steam block an acrylic or cotton project. I've already pinned down my swatch. I'm using a garment steamer, but if you're using an iron with a steam, you're going to want to lay your pins at an angle so you can, like that one, so you can get real close to it, or you can get all around the edges. But I'm just using this garment steamer, so I have mine standing straight up. Now, since I'm using a garment steamer, I have to use it upright. You can hear my steamer is already going. I'm going to hold it up close to it, about an inch, half an inch, but I'm not going to put it directly on it. I don't want to melt or kill my acrylic, as it is called, and I'm just going to run it over it all around. Give it a feel. It'll usually feel saturated and it'll feel softer too. And you can already tell it is softening up and loosening up. Go one more round. It's good and saturated. And then you can let that air dry. It's usually pretty quick to air dry, or you can go ahead and take it off. I'm going to go ahead and take it off just to show you what it looks like. See how it's hard to demonstrate how it feels, but it's very soft and it's floppy now. It has a good drape to it. The stitches have loosened up a bit. It had a bit of curl to it as well, and now it just lays flat. So that helps your acrylic projects or your acrylic cotton blend projects. It really just loosens up the stitches a little bit, adds a little bit more softness to them, and gives it a little bit more of a drape, a nice drape. So that is when I would recommend steam blocking a project. It's a very quick and easy method. So if you're working with acrylic yarns, this is a good way to go. Now I'm going to demonstrate spray blocking. I'm adding my pins. As you can see, this one has a little curl to it. This is a great reason to block your projects, to get rid of that curl. And then as I pin it down, you can pin it down, you can stretch it to what you want it to. If you want to add a little bit of length or width to your project, you can stretch it out a little bit to get it to lay flat on the edges. I'm just quickly doing this to demonstrate. Spray blocking is good for really big projects. If you don't have like a big sink or bathtub or bowl to put a big project in, spray blocking is really great for that. You can use it with any fiber. It's just water. It takes a little bit longer because you got to let it air dry. So I could put a pin there. Okay, so I've got it pinned down, and then I just take my spray bottle full of cool water, and I'm gonna spray it. Get it good and saturated. And make sure it's good and wet. You feel around to make sure it is wet, and that is all you do. And then you let it air dry. I would give it a good 24 hours, and then you can take it off the board. So this is a little bit longer process, but it's really convenient if you have a really big project. You'll definitely need more of these matte pieces, but if you have something really big that you can't put into a big tub of water or whatnot, the spray method works really well. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to wet block a project. I have another swatch here, and what you need is your mat, your yarn or your project, a bowl of water. Cool water is what I use. You can also add like a wool wash to it if you would like to. And then you need your pins and a towel. I recommend, if you have a large size project, 1 or 2 large towels. So if you have a smaller project, smaller towels will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely dip my project into the water and let it get good and wet. I usually let it sit for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes and let it just really soak in that water. I usually, if it's a big project, I'll do it right in my kitchen sink or my bathroom sink, and just let it sit for a few minutes. Like I said, 10 to 20 is usually what I typically do, but for time's sake, we're going to go ahead and take it out in just a second. Once it is thoroughly soaked, you're going to take it out. Do not, I repeat, do not wring it out. You can give it a little squeeze if you want, but don't wring it. Wring it will just mess it all up. Take your towel, and you can put it on your towel and kind of fold it over and soak up as much excess water as you can. Just so that it's not dripping with water. Remove this bowl. So now that it's wet, you're going to lay it onto your mat and you're going to pin it. And you can maneuver it however you want. And stretch it out if you want. And just pin the whole thing onto the mat. However, which way you choose. And then I'm just going to pin it for time's sake, right there. And then you let it air dry. Once you have pinned it, you let it air dry, usually around 24 hours. It'll be dry depending on the size and the fiber. And then you can unpin it and you'll have a nice project that has been blocked, that has great stitch definition and is soft and has great drape. And I think you'll really like the wet blocking method for your projects.